Hi everyone, this is Susie from Minnesota, and I garden in Zone 4, and it's getting close to the end of June, and I thought I'd show you what is blooming in my garden right now. I just love walking this way. And down here, I had some extra silver sage, and yes, I planted it in a row, and it looks a little too uniform, but, and then down in here, I have some purple basil. So I thought that purple with the silvery foliage will look really good. Over here I have a shrub rose. It's supposed to be high 80s today. We have still been very dry. We did get some rain last week, under an inch of rain, but it's still not enough. I have my hose out. It will not get put away until we get consistent rain. Then over here, another shrub rose. And I can't describe the color because it's not your vibrant red, but it's got red with some pink tinge in it. Nice light fragrance. You have to get pretty close to smell it, but every now and then the wind does carry it. I have 3 of them planted in here. It's a little bright right now. And this is Benary's giant purple zinnia, which I started from seed, and in about April. The bloom is just massive on this one. Look at that. Kind of looks like a dahlia. Asiatic lily, Lollipop. And this is a lily that I had moved from the side of the house over here. That's by my hostas. I think it prefers this area. It gets a lot more sun. It is struggling just a little bit. You can see down here, and that's because it was moved, but it's also been a dry season. Much warmer than normal. Last year, I don't think it warmed up till about the middle of July. This year we've had, 4 or 5 days at least of 90-degree weather. My cut flower garden is looking wonderful. The bunny tails the other day when it rained had all flopped over. They perked up. Love this. Look at all of them coming up from below. All of these were started by seed from me in about April. Cleome, I love this flower. There's just something so elegant about this. It is thorny. Mexican sunflower. I had deadheaded a lot the other day, so they're just starting to bloom again. The cosmos is just lovely. I don't know. Again, that's a nice size bloom too. The pollinators love this garden. Nicotiana looks best in the evening and has the most loveliest scent, especially this white one. And that has the strongest. I don't know the name of that one. I know this one is lime green. And this was just in the seed packet with the lime green one. I have purple hyacinth bean vine growing back here, Ruby Moon. And it's still just a little dude. I have 3 because I had an extra one, and one of them wasn't looking too good, and then it kind of started to take off. But the only thing is it's kind of a slow grower right now. I'm hoping it fills this trellis out. I think the biggest problem I have with this trellis is it's just bulky. I mean, it's, for things to wrap around it, it's not the best. I have to think if I really want to keep this, it was free, or if I want to go with something that's a little more delicate so the tendrils can wrap around it, or the vines. I have Gomphrena down here just starting to bloom. Hummingbirds love the Nicotiana. They're just crazy about it. Another zinnia in here, just a purple. I did a purple zinnia this year, lime green, which is down here. Super small. I hope this gets a bit bigger. Otherwise I have it in the wrong spot. Love the way the verbena comes through. It will get taller. This is the tall variety. I love Mexican sunflower. They have these nice long stems, great for cutting. I'm just having a hard time cutting any of this because it looks so nice. I just sit back in my chair at times and just really, really love this spot in the garden. I think in a month it's going to look like a jungle. Been doing a lot of staking in here. You can see I have twine, bamboo. I have these supports back here, these like little half hoops. So we'll see. Being very proactive this year. Last year I got a storm and everything just got broken, and you can see this one's in the shade just a little bit. The sun's not beating on it, so it's a little happier right now. After this video, I gotta get my dog out for a walk. Whew, it's a little warmer than what I thought it was gonna be. Oh, missed this. Oh, here, I have just Cosmos back here. The Cosmos, Zinnias, Cleome, all annuals in my area. But this is from the same plant. Isn't that cool? And then you have this one. I have to be careful because the bees just love this. And this will get taller, so it should fill out this area. I have staked it up. I might have to do a little bit more. This one is getting a little floppy over here. This is a really tall variety. More Cleome. And this will get pretty tall too. Love it. More roses down here. A little shade feels nice. And they've been blooming for quite a while. You can see I have more to come. I may have to fertilize these. And down here I have Penstemon, Onyx and Pearls that's blooming. It will get taller and it will fill out this area. This was just newly planted this year. More of the lime green zinnias. You can see they're much smaller, but that's okay. Don't mind the hose. Over here I have Snapdragons, Rocket Orchid, which also were seeds that I started. And then in the front, I have silver sage, which is huge. And I've had to stake these up too because the wind has just been wreaking havoc on a lot of my plants. Look at this. This is a dahlia that I have. Oops, I gotta be careful. There's a bee in there. It's a dahlia that I overwintered, I want to say 3 years now. Last year I had it in a pot and I just brought the entire plant in. I let it freeze first. I cut off most of the foliage, brought in the container, and it overwintered beautifully. This year I put it in the ground. I'm going to have to figure out how to stake this up. I started it early in the spring to get a head start on the bloom season, but I couldn't find like a stake, or not a stake, like a hoop big enough. It was pretty massive. So it might be some bamboo and twine. Not attractive, but I really don't want that to bust. And this is Queenie Readline Zinnias. There's different hues of this color, where this one's a little more burgundy, that's a little more rust. And then back here, it's a little more pom-pom look to it with a little more lime green on top. We have Nepeta down here, still blooming, not quite as vibrant as like a week ago. Bees still love it. Once it goes over a little bit more, I will give it a haircut and hopefully get another bloom. And down here I have another Shrub Rose, also Easy Rose. I love that color with the purple. It is so delicate looking. And then also I have 3 of them planted in here. They are a smaller rose. I think they only get about between a foot and maybe 2 feet. So I'm thinking I probably could have planted them a little closer. But that's okay. I can put other stuff in between at some point. But I also like this color here. Walk in my garden. It's already rock hard from lack of rain. And then with the silvery color of the lamb's ears down here, which is spreading like crazy. Look at that. I had my doubts, because you can see I spaced it pretty far, and I think that will be good spacing. I have added more containers. I'll do another video. I'm just debating when I should do that. Oh, a slight breeze, which is so welcomed. And here, White Wands Veronica, just starting to bloom. This garden here, and the bees love this. They absolutely love this. But this garden here probably gets between 6 to 8 hours of sun throughout the day. And it has the best drainage, I would say, for back here. I do have a boggy area, not so much this year because of lack of rain. But it's also, this area is 3 years old. And some of this is newly planted, so that still has to fill in. I add some annuals, and I say some because perennials, they're my favorite. If I'm going to spend money on anything, I'm going to get perennials just because sometimes they last forever. But The annuals in here, all the zinnias, Cleome, Cosmos, that was all started by seed for me. So practically all I have invested is seeds. And I add some annuals just for that pop of color when things are starting to fade. And then the next bloom comes in. But I don't do a whole lot. When you go to a garden center and you can buy the annuals in, what, 4.5-inch cans or 4-inch, they're $6 a piece. That gets pretty spendy. Another also easy rose. This is, I'm glad it's blooming. I had hacked it down to the bottom where it was just like a stump. That was it. I'm like, I'm going to give you a chance, and it looks okay. And this is my oldest one, I would say. It's at least 8 years old. It is fading. It starts off that bright orange and then kind of goes to that really light peach, which is pretty. So I let it. At some point I will be deadheading this. So back here I had gotten rid of my mock orange. Last year it had maybe 2 or 3 blooms on it, and that was it. Other than that, that plant was 3 years old. It just wasn't doing anything, and I wasn't liking the growth of it. All of the growth on top was green, but very woody in the bottom. Not my favorite, so right now I just moved some of my pots to fill in this gap for the time being until I can find another ligularia. And that's Britt Marie Crawford. And I figured that in here, a viewer had suggested it, and I think that's an excellent idea for that pop of purple. But I also like the fact with this salvia here that I have planted, which the hummingbirds love, and I just have one plant in here. This looks good. And this is the spent bloom with the color of the foliage. And then I just have the pot of Cleome that I had moved. And this is a native Foxglove beard tongue. It's a little tall, but that's okay. It's kind of a see-through plant. It's not blocking the sight of anything, so I don't mind it. It is a little wonky with its growth because it's just, a lot of plants had an adjustment period to go through with the heat, the winds, lack of moisture. Back here, I just planted this Monarda Bee Balm coral reef this year. It will get to be about 40 inches tall. This is just an annual I have in a pot down here for a little pop of color. It's black and bloom. And I'll do a little more on that in my container video. Back here, my clematis is just starting to bloom. Just noticed it yesterday. And this is a Viticella Polish Spirit. And it's a very, very pretty purple. Right next door, this is a clematis. It's Pink Mink by Proven Winners. So far I'm not seeing any blooms on it. So we'll see what happens. In the front here, I just have a Daylily Stella d'Oro. It's a pretty common daylily, but it performs here. It's a no-fuss plant for me. And then here, which is one of my favorites, is a Primrose. And it started off with just a tiny little plant, and it's just worked its way around here, and it's even grown in the grass. And I let it, because it gives me so much pleasure with this yellow color. Last year it got a lot taller. You can see this is here, and then I've got a spike up here. So last year it was all about that tall, which covered up the bird bath. But I'm liking this a little bit better because I can see the birds taking their baths. So neat. But I love the sea of yellow here. I'm just gonna shoot over here real quick because this lady's mantle over here looks spectacular. And this is its first full year of being in here. I planted it last year and this is how big it's gotten. I love it. Absolutely love it. You can see the hardy geranium over here is just starting to go over. But that too, I mean, this whole entire area around my, we'll say my doggy playpen. I'm not sure what to call it. It's his potty play area. I put this in, what was it, 2 years ago? I have a beagle and he gets into things that he shouldn't get into, but it's also for his protection. There's been so many times that I walked out of my door and I've been greeted by dogs right in our face. And it was just a little nerve-wracking at times, and it was happening more often than what I care for it to happen. So yeah, it's a little bit of both, his safety and then my peace of mind. But I do like it. It's probably been one of the best ideas I've ever done, is to put this in, and for future puppies too. And then the hardy geranium here, look how big that's gotten. I was debating if I had these spaced correctly, but you can see they did a pretty good job, and I know this will keep spreading. This area is probably filled out the best, and then still looks really good until we get around the other way, which I think it's the tree that's got a lot of competition there, sucking up all the moisture. I actually watered all of my trees and my shrubs in front. Also the hydrangeas, they always get watered, but the trees in my town, they've been losing their leaves. They've been turning brown colors. Oh, I'm a little nervous. So yeah, it's the first time I've watered them ever. I normally don't water my trees because we get enough moisture. Spiderwort, love this plant. The only issue I'm having right now is I've got the purple of this plant, orange Asiatic lilies, which I'm debating about keeping. I've had these for at least 10 years. It's just looking a little Halloween to me back here, which isn't bad, but because this it was a shadier area, but you can see it's getting plenty of sun. I think it's because this pine tree was taken down, and which has allowed a nice little pocket. No complaints. I think plants will do a bit better, but I just think something maybe white or pink in here will be a little more tranquil feeling. Giant fleece flower looks pretty good considering all the wind we've had and how much I've had to cut from here. I think I'll get another flush of blooms from what I've had to prune off. So yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do right now with this because, like I said, this is just supposed to be more serenity, more tranquil. But they're loving their life here. I could move them, but I am running out of room. More primrose over here. Kind of in the back. It used to be in the front here, and then the lily of the valley and this lamiastrum has just pushed it. But what it's doing is it's kind of pushing everything out of the way, because in front here I also have great blue lobelia, which will have a purpley blue spike, which will also add to that Halloween theme at some point. But you can see it's moved the primrose over here. And then also my daylilies are disappearing. I have a nice clump here, but you can see this one's getting crowded, and this one is definitely getting taken over. Lots of moving and thinking to do about stuff. But yeah, that's what's blooming in my garden so far. Mainly, it's in the back. Once my caladiums start to fill in a little bit better, I'll start taking you for tours again with the shade garden. So hopefully you enjoyed this tour, and bye for now.